Welcome everyone to the Manchester Conference Centre. Absolutely delighted to see so many people here today, and I have to say, totally delighted to see so many young people. So thank you very much for coming along today. It's wonderful to see you. So my name is Joan Heery. I'm the Membership Director for the PWI. In the past, I've been very honoured to hold the position of President, and I'm also the Chair of their Climate Change, Adaptation and Decarbonisation Committee. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all here today. I'd very much like to thank the Manchester and Liverpool section for organising this event. These things are not easy. It's not a 5-minute job to pull together the agenda. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and in particular I would really like to thank Jenny Smith for all her work, because Jenny sits both on the section committee and is also a member of the decarbonisation committee, so she has to manage between two groups of people, which is never an easy thing to do. So thank you, Jenny, very much indeed. Okay, just before we start then, just a few housekeeping rules. The toilets, hopefully most people have found them out here and round to the right. There is no planned fire alarm today. If the fire alarm goes off, we obviously follow the fire exit signs, and the muster points are either out to the front on the main road where we came in, or there is another fire exit round to the right hand side. I'm sure there'll be staff there for us to follow. There is no defibrillator present in this building, but the staff here do know where to go and get one from the university if it is required. The refreshments, again, most people have sussed it out, round in the Pioneer Room, and chairing today will be shared between myself and Peter, so Peter will be taking over at lunchtime. And speakers, we're really grateful to you coming along today, sharing your knowledge with us. But as you know, this is a conference and we'll have to keep to time, and you will be subjected to the 5 and 2 minute rule by Jenny holding up the red and yellow cards. And if I'm not careful, I'll be getting one myself. So I just very briefly wanted to mention the new PWI website. This has been one of our strategic projects. And with all these types of technology projects, they do have a tendency to go wrong, and it happened to us with extended timescales, etc. But the guys really stuck to the project, and it's now delivered. The website went live very quietly at the beginning of February. Please go in, have a look around it, and provide us with your feedback. We're certainly very pleased with it. And just to remind everyone, everything that you see and hear today will be recorded and will be available on the website for your viewing at a later date, or you can share it with your colleagues at work. So, sponsors. Very important to the PWI. These people on this slide have all provided financial backing to this event today. We're very grateful to them. Switelski are the lead sponsor, with GeoBear and Connacht also supporting. WSP have once again offered to sponsor a papers competition, and Peter's going to talk a bit more about that at lunchtime. So thank you to WSP. And then we have our exhibitors, Chambray, Fugro and Aqua as well. All of these people can be found with their presentation stands round in the Pioneer Room. Please do go and visit them, chat to them. They're people with great knowledge, and I'm sure they'll be willing to share that. And I can see that Stephen's looking at me as if to say, don't forget to mention the PWI, I've got a stand as well. So yes, we're there too, so please make use of that, and thank you to all the sponsors. Okay. Our programme today. So there's absolutely no doubt now that we are living in a climate emergency. Globally, 2020 was the second warmest year on record, with mean temperature 1.2 degrees above the pre-industrial average. By that measure, this means that we are already 80% of the way towards the 1.5 degrees safe level to which the world committed to try to limit global warming. Just a few days ago, the IPCC issued their latest assessment report, which makes for grim reading. The report states that droughts, floods and heat waves will increase in frequency and intensity with devastating consequences, and all parts of the globe will be affected. The report also talks about the need for collaboration and joint working across countries and industries if we are to have any chance of managing this situation. Bringing that back to the agenda today, we are all here as people working within the rail industry, trying to understand what we can do at both a collective and an individual level. Even within our industry, the problems are complex and complicated, and solutions have many interdependencies, from government funding through to project delivery, technology issues, and actually having the correct skill sets to be able to deal with this. In putting together the agenda today, we've really tried to showcase and give examples of things that can and are really happening, where people have found solutions to challenging problems that can be adopted by others. The agenda is focused on 4 key areas: looking at the challenge from different perspectives, giving consideration to embodied carbon, having a look at modal shift, and then finally exploring nature and resilience. Just as a bit of context, I just wanted to talk very briefly about the work of the PWI's Climate Change Adaptation and Decarbonisation Committee. The committee is now about a year old, and it would be fair to say that we were spurred into action by the ICE presidential address given by Rachel Skinner in 2020, when the ICE released a very powerful video. Stephen and I then took a proposition to the board of the PWI and asked for their support to allow us to start working in this area. And of course, they were very supportive of that. A call out to our corporate members, and of course, we've got good representation across the corporate members now that you can see on the committee. I can honestly say that 1 year on, everyone on the committee has either led or contributed to a piece of work, which is really a fantastic effort, given the fact that all these people are volunteering. Everything they're doing is extra on top of their day job, and that is just a measure of how passionately people feel about this subject. So what kind of things do we get up to? At a tactical level, at a working level if you like, we've committed to doing a number of things. So we provide an article for the journal every time the journal is published, obviously developing and delivering this technical conference, which has taken quite a lot of time, hosting a number of lunch and learn events. So yesterday we had the 3rd one of those, which was the RSSB. Next week it's the turn of TfL, talking about their sustainability strategy. We do some work with the JBM, so the PWI are now members of the Joint Board of Moderators, and that's all about influencing the courses that are taught at university, so we're doing some work on that. And then there's been changes to the UK spec last year, so people going for a professional registration, they now have to have a greater demonstration of topic areas around sustainability and environmental issues. And our committee is doing some work on that for the PWI. And lastly, at a tactical level, last year we engaged in an organisation called Ethical Nation, who actually undertook a carbon footprint exercise, if you like, of the PWI itself, so we understand now where we are. We used 2019 as our baseline, and we were able to offset our carbon footprint, so we can now say we are carbon neutral. And then if you think about, that's all fine at a tactical level. At a more, if you like, external level, what are we doing? We've focused our attention in 2 areas. Some people here may not be aware, but when the government are seeking advice from an engineering perspective on policy, they look to the National Engineering Policy Centre, which is part of the Royal Academy of Engineering. And that organisation is representing all 43 engineering organisations, which is representative of nearly 500,000 engineers. So the NEPC are running several projects all around net zero, and we do try and align with those and get involved with them where we can. So for example, we're running a project currently on hydrogen, which Peter is involved with, and they're just to embark on a project about materials. And we've had some involvement with that as well. And then secondly, the second area we're obviously looking at is in and around the transport system and the decarbonisation of rail, and where we can get involved with that. A lot of that is around electrification, and as you know, the PWI has branched out into that area. So that's all I'd like to say really as an introduction. I'm now going to introduce our first speaker, our keynote speaker, Tricia Williams.